to be Podsmacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
Welcome to the show. It's already Tuesday, day before Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. You want to hear the greatest gift that a man could get for Valentine's Day? You ready for this? You guys are going to hate me. You're going to hate me for this. You guys. Greatest Valentine's Day gift. My wife today. We're sitting there, we're talking about, I don't know, just stuff. She's hanging in the studio with me. And she goes, Valentine's Day is a joke. I went, oh, yes. Valentine's Day is a joke. She thinks it's stupid. Oh, God, what a gift. Alaska in the house. Hello, Marie. How are you? Welcome to the show. Share, will you? I got a lot of stuff I want to get to on the show. And I got to kind of, I want to save the good stuff until we get rolling here, get people joining me, watching. But it was kind of funny that my wife today said that Valentine's Day was a joke. I was like, mission accomplished. All right. Oh, my goodness. Now, what I've been saying for years, what I've been saying since the Reagan administration. Cutting taxes increases revenue to the Treasury. It just does. A lot of Democrats say it doesn't make any sense. Why would cutting taxes increase revenue? Well, you idiots, it's getting people off of the public dole into the private sector, paying payroll taxes, FISA, state and local income taxes, you doofus. We had 2 billion people drop off of food stamps in January. It might have been 3. You get people back to work. You get them some money in their pocket. They spend it, okay? Welfare is not a stimulus. Food stamps is not a stimulus. Real work when people are being productive and they have a little more money in their pocket, they can go out and they can spend more, and consequently their taxes help more. People hire more people, all right? Businesses spend money to expand and make their capital improvements and things like that. And South Dakota, hello, Mary. My mom lives in Sioux Falls. So does my sister. I love Sioux Falls. Lovely town. But that's how it works, guys. That's how it works. If you put people to work and you don't have a welfare state, the revenue's going to go through the ceiling. It's going to go through the ceiling. And that's what happened, guys. Federal government this January ran a surplus while collecting total tax revenues for the month. Treasury collected approximately $360 million total tax revenues. Spent a total of $311. That's a surplus of $49 billion. Mary says she works 6 days a week. I know, girl. So do I. I do 2 podcasts a day. This one, and then immediately after, I do this at 5 o'clock Central, and then at 6 o'clock Central, I go on twitch.com, and I do another video podcast. A little different than this one. But I do it, and then on Saturday, I do a food podcast right here at 3 o'clock in Central Standard Time. So, $49 billion surplus. Treasury not only collected record taxes in the month of January, but now has collected record tax revenues for the first 4 months of the fiscal year. It's pretty amazing stuff. And it shows the folly of Democrat politicians who feel like higher taxes are going to bring in more revenue. Because you know what happens when higher taxes happen? Businesses constrict. They constrict and they go, F it, I'm not going to hire anybody. I'm not going to hire anybody. I'm not going to invest in, improvements in my business. I'm not going to do any of that. And I'm going to use every damned, they're not loopholes, by the way. It's the law, okay? They take advantage of the parts of the law that are available to them. But basically, when you have higher taxes, confiscatory tax rates, business constricts. They fire people. People go on food stamps and welfare and all this. And the economy goes. That's not changing. All right. Oh, Pam is watching in Virginia. Well, I got a lot of ladies listening. Or watching, I should say. Hello. Nice to have you guys. I don't care what you could identify as whatever, as long as you're watching. That's all that matters to me. So you saw the pictures, the portraits of Barack and Michelle Obama. My wife saw these. She's like, these don't look like in presidential portrait, you're in a chair. It's distinguished. Mike in Colorado, hello. All this, and they're stupid looking. Michelle didn't even look like Michelle. My daughter could have done a better painting than that. She could have been a better painting. It was awful. It was awful. And then you got this guy, Kehinde Wiley. He's the guy who did the Obama picture with the floral wall behind him and all that. I don't know if you knew this. Apparently, he has a history of including depictions of sperm in his work and has been described as predatory and perverse by the Village Voice. Now, you're thinking he's putting something in the paint. No, that's not although he might. Apparently likes to work sperm into his, oh boy. He likes to work little spermies into his work. He's best known for creating famous paintings, but replacing the featured white person, often a noble or a general, with a black man. And apparently he gets young men off the street to pose in his studio. Okay. This is the Village Voice. Lures young men to a studio with the promise of power and glamour. She called the behavior predatory and perverse. Sounds a little Harvey Weinstein-esque. Gary's watching in Australia. How you doing, brother? Gary, good to have you back on tonight, man. Really, really good to see that you're writing tonight. That means a lot. Apparently, this guy, one of his, like, he's a rendition of St. Andrew, shows a black man grinding his crotch against a wooden cross with free-floating spermatozoa painting in the canvas. I'd check the paint for DNA. I just, I'm sorry, but yeah. Apparently there was a vein that's pronounced on Obama's head here, and it looks a little spermy. It looks like a big sperm. I'm not going to say anything about Barack Obama having sperm on his face, although it's been rumored. All righty. Gary, cheers. Cheers. I'm having my cheap Chardonnay in an IKEA cup. Did you hear about the Susan Rice email to herself? I had to laugh about this because it's so ham-handed and stupid. There was a meeting apparently between Barack Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, FBI Director James Comey, Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates in the White House, January the 5th. And she decided to write, Dear Diary, on January 20th, a note to herself, which is really funny because it was basically, it's one of those, when a missile is going to attack, you send a flare off. That's what that was. The missile was the FBI investigation. The missile was the whole dossier. The missile was the Obama administration working with the Democrat Party, working with Hillary Clinton to use the dossier to get a FISA warrant, all that stuff. She sends this flare on the day of the inauguration. And the way she wrote it is so funny. Oh, Gary's having beer. Nothing wrong with a beer, brother. What time is it in Australia? Holy hell. Anyway, is morning there? The message, which includes redactions, features the meeting, like I said. And listen to this. This is like, it's like writing a memo. Dear me, I had a meeting 3 weeks ago and everything was great. We didn't do anything illegal and nothing unethical. No, it was the president assured everyone that we have to do things by the book. It's stupid, ham-handed, moronic, a flare to send off the missiles because the S is hitting the fan right now with the administration and the FBI. This is from Condi Rice's memo to herself. Or no, not Condi Rice's. Dear God in heaven. Susan Rice's. Condi Rice. President Obama began the conversation by stressing his continued commitment to ensuring that every aspect of this issue is handled by the intelligence and law enforcement communities by the book. Okay. Continued commitment. He never committed to it. He never committed to it. Barack Obama's Organizing for America and the Democrat Party and Hillary Clinton paid for the dossier. So he never committed to ensuring that every aspect of the issue is handled by the intelligence and law enforcement communities by the book. It never happened. So she's like saying, oh, yes, he recommitted himself to it. even though he had never committed himself to it. The president stressed that he is not asking about initiating or instructing anything from the law enforcement perspective, even though he's done it for months as the Obama administration used a FISA warrant to spy on the Trump campaign transition team and eventually the first few months of the presidency. He reiterated that our law enforcement team needs to proceed as it normally would by the book. Nothing to see here. Nothing. No, yes. This is a continued practice. We are going to keep doing what we've been doing, even though this is the first time that they said this is how they were going to do it. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so sophomoric. At that point in the meeting, Rice indicates that Obama was then spoke of national security concerns. President Obama says that he wants to be sure that as we engage in the incoming team, we are mindful to ascertain if there is any reason that we cannot share information fully as it relates to Russia. Now, rumor is having it that Barack Obama attempted to withhold that information from the Trump campaign. So here she is writing on the day of the inauguration that they're going to do things by the book. Lindsey Graham was interviewed on Fox News today about this, and he thought the whole thing was a little étrange, a little strange, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Lindsey Graham talking about the Susan Rice email to herself on the day of the inauguration. Oh.
At 12:15 on January the 20th, the day of the inauguration, she emails herself about a meeting that occurred on January the 5th in the Oval Office, and she says in the email that the president was being briefed by the intelligence community about Russian hacking in the 2016 election, and had a follow-on brief meeting with Sally Yates, Jim Comey, herself, and Vice President Biden, and she quotes what the president said. Now, this is an email to herself about a meeting with the president on January the 5th. President Obama began the conversation by stressing his continued commitment to ensuring that every aspect of this issue, the Russian...
You know what this is? This is retroactive paper shredding. That's what this is. It's retroactive paper shredding. That's what they're cleaning house. All right? They're cleaning house as they leave the office, but this is retroactive paper shredding. Unbelievable.
Investigation is handled by the intelligence and law enforcement community by the book, in parentheses, by the book. The president stressed that he is not asking about, initiating, or instructing anything from a law enforcement perspective. He reiterated that our law enforcement team needs to proceed as it normally would by the book. So she's sending herself an email talking about a conversation on January the 5th with the president, reassuring herself and I guess the president that this would be done by the book. I think that's odd and disturbing because we know that the investigation regarding the Trump campaign was anything but by the book.
It was anything but by the book. It's ham-handed. Isn't that? It's just ham-handed that she'd be like, I'll write a note to myself so I can throw the hunting dogs off. Here's a little bit from Lindsey Graham on this note to Susan Rice by Susan Rice.
So what I'm worried about is this an effort by the president to basically get himself on the record through Susan Rice to make sure that from his point of view, everything was done by the book. The question is...
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is planting evidence. That's what this is. It's planting evidence to defend the president. And have you heard anything from the president lately?
Did the president know anything about the FISA warrant application? Did Susan Rice know that the warrant application included a dossier from Mr. Steele when he was on the payroll of the Democratic Party coming from Russian sources that he was...
By the way, the money came from the Democrat Party. Hillary Clinton, largely. I always think of her in her pantsuit when I hear the word largely in her name. And Barack Obama's Organizing for America.
Political operative.
They gave $900,000.
Being paid by the Democrats. Democratic Party, and that the information in the FISA warrant application was a dossier that was political in nature, and that Mr. Steele hated President Trump, candidate Trump, and was trying to do everything he could to beat him. That's not exactly by the book.
No, it's not exactly by the book. And you've got a couple of FBI agents. One of them was, both of them removed from the FBI, from the investigation of Donald Trump and Russian ties because of his obvious bias. Talking about election insurance if Donald Trump were elected, which included, you can only assume, an attempt to, if he is elected, disrupt his presidency. Finally, one more soundbite from Lindsey Graham on the note to Susan from Susan.
Well, they were going to leave breadcrumbs, to make sure that people could follow the Russian efforts to undermine the 2016 election. Yeah. Mm. What did Comey say when the president allegedly told him, I want you to do it by the book? Do you think Comey mentioned to the president that the chief source of information regarding a FISA warrant on Carter Page came from a paid operative of the Democratic Party, Mr. Steele, who was on the payroll of Fusion GPS that was being paid by the Clinton campaign?
I mean, honestly, what the hell? What else do you effing need to know?
Campaign in the Democratic Party, that the dossier came from Russian sources, very unreliable, and it still hasn't been verified, that the number 4 guy in the FBI, Mr. Orr's wife, worked at Fusion GPS, who did the research for Mr.
What? The number 4 guy in the FBI worked for Fusion GPS, his wife.
Mr. Steele, do you think he told the president any of that? This is the oddest conversation.
No, it's not odd. It's corrupt. It's a lie. It's an attempt to throw off the hunting dogs. That's what it's like I said, it's ham-handed.
I can imagine. Why are they talking about doing things by the book on January the 5th? And what did Comey say when he was told to do it by the book?
The conversation never happened. That conversation that Susan Rice had never happened. It never happened. She made it up of whole cloth to protect the president on the day of the inauguration. That's it. Want to bet some money on it? Here you go. $5. $5. What just an enormous pile of crap. Just, honestly. Mike says jail time. Dale says Clinton's crime. Oh, by the way, it's 10:10 tomorrow morning, or it's 10:13 tomorrow morning in Australia. So thanks for watching, my friend. What are you doing in Australia, by the way? You an expat? Did you move to Australia? I think I'd move to New Zealand if I had to move from the United States. I think it's from New Zealand. But I like Australia. I just don't like what they did with their gun control laws a couple of years ago. So, Armageddon, Donald Trump's tax cuts, destroying the country. You've heard about that, right? You've heard the media say that they're destroying the country. Well, record number of small business owners in the U.S. say it's a good time to expand. Yeah. 6 of the 10 components that make up the Small Business Optimism Index increased in January, producing one of the strongest readings in the 45-year history of the survey. So people are seeing that regulation is being cut back. Taxes are being lowered. Corporate income taxes lowered from 35 to 21%. A lot of good things happening. And they're saying, you know what? Maybe it's time to expand. And so they're hiring people. What happens when you hire people? Tax revenues go up. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, the views are growing. Thank you. The shares are growing. Keep them going. Keep them going. We've got about another half hour together. And can I also just ask you real quick, guys, will you start to also begin to watch LibertyOneTV.com? Because we do the show there as well. And we do it at the same time. All of our shows, Rusty Humphrey show, Joe Big show, all that. We do it all live on LibertyOneTV.com. And the reason why we're doing that is because social media, Facebook, is going after conservative commentators. And we don't know if it could be tomorrow. We're just, gone. So I need you to make Liberty One TV a favorite on your browser. I need you to make it a favorite on your browser. I need you to make it a something that you watch every single day on Liberty One TV. Okay? I don't know why it's playing. We got another show running on Liberty One TV, not my show. Hello, Terry, what's going on? Let me double check here. Should be me on Liberty One TV. I'm seeing something else. Anyway, start watching all of our shows on Liberty One TV. It would be a godsend. It really would be. You can watch them on for free on Liberty One TV while they're live, okay? And then you can pay $3.98 a month, okay? All right, sorry. All right, so anyway, let's move on to other stuff here. Got some other stuff. Patricia loves my show. Hello, Patricia. Love you, girl. So Trump's proposed budget nixes federal funding for NPR and PBS. It's about time. NPR and PBS are a mouthpiece for Democratic politicians. It's a joke. It's a joke. So they're going to take away $445 million in federal funding to NPR and PBS. And let's honestly face it, it's a joke. NPR and PBS are a joke. If you listen to All Things Considered, you listen to Morning Edition, they have a political agenda. It is anti-Republican. It is not conservative. They also have a bloated budget and a lot of programs that a few people listen to. And money goes to these programs, and they live in elaborate facilities in Washington, D.C., and they go after, with federal money, local broadcasters, okay? And they have an unfair advantage because they start with $445 million in their hoppers before the rest of us get on the air. Now, I'm not in terrestrial radio right now, which is AM, FM signals. But it is time that NPR and PBS pared down their operations. You've got shows on PBS or on NPR that literally have 30 staffers. It's a 1 hour a week show, and they have a private chef. I heard that on my buddy Chris Plant's show today. They have a private chef for a 1 hour show. All right, I do a 1 hour show here. And I'm going to make dinner next before I go on Twitch TV, so I'm a private chef. I'm just not being paid. So they're talking about cutting the funding, and they should. It's about time. It's about time that NPR and PBS they started supporting themselves. And if you love your NPR and your PBS, you freaking pay for it. You do that to fund that they do every year. They do the begging for donations a couple times a year. And you get a tote bag or you get a coffee mug for whatever amount you're going to donate to NPR and PBS every year. There you go. That's how it works. Good luck. And by the way, it used to be non-commercial. It is commercial. You watch PBS, commercial. When was the last time you watched PBS? I liked Antiques Roadshow. I was into Antiques Roadshow. To watch Antiques Roadshow, would have given them $20 a year. Got a free mug. But I just don't watch it. I don't watch it. I don't know. Yes, Gary, Trey Gowdy is retiring, and it sucks. Paula says, good job. Thank you. Thank you. Please keep sharing. We've only got 29 shares so far. All right. Oh, the Trump administration saying they want to sell National and Dulles airports and other government assets, and I think this is great. Reagan National Airport, it's a glorious airport, flown in and out many, many times. Dulles, same way. Very poorly run. Very poorly run. Particularly if you look at Dulles. They finally put an underground train out there, but they had these things. They looked like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, these vehicles that were above ground, these massive four-wheel drive vehicles where you would go to it was kind of cool, actually. It was kind of fun. But honestly, government-run airports are terrible. They are absolutely terrible. It takes forever for stuff to get built. It's just awful. So they're talking about selling off Reagan, selling off Dulles, selling off George Washington Memorial Parkway along the Potomac, which is lovely, by the way. And leaving it up to private contractors. Leaving it up. And I got to tell you, the Parkway is pretty, but it's not a very well maintained road. It really isn't. It's lovely, don't get me wrong, but it really is not very well maintained. Whenever you turn things over to the private sector, they do things better because they have to make money. I don't know. They're going to make it into a toll road. It's worth it. It's stunning. It's beautiful. Really is. Trump is going to end automatic pay hikes for federal workers and going to make firings easier, which is about time. Sorry, this isn't an attack on federal workers. It's not. It's about some people who take advantage of the systems because they know they're going to get a pay raise regardless of their performance, and this is where it has to change. This includes ending automatic pay hikes that kick in irrespective of performance, changing retirement benefits and making it easier to fire employees, and it's about time. I mean, the private sector, they've got this thing, it's called, what the hell is it called? You don't have to have a reason for it, they just fire you. I've been fired that way. Budget proposal seeks to align compensation with the private sector. Did you realize federal employees with a high school diploma or less earn 53% more than those in the private sector? Did you know that? Did you know that? Transitioning to a more performance-focused workforce would also mean that federal workers with poor reviews could be more easily fired, streamlining the hiring and dismissal process. About time, by the way. I don't know if you knew this. Union members are protesting, of course. Now, the VA, I don't know if you knew this. If you're looking for a gig, the VA, which is being overhauled by the Trump administration, they are short 35,000 employees. So if you're looking for a gig, and you better be willing to perform, the VA is hiring right now. VA is hiring right now if you're looking. Steven says, no, I'm retired, born and bred here, live by the sea and spend most of my sea fishing in my boat. Dude, if I were down there right now, I'd go fishing and have a beer with you, my brother. Polly says, she planted the evidence by the book. Hilariously obvious. Polly, you're right about Susan Rice. That's exactly what I said. It was planting evidence. It was throwing off the hunting dogs. You are 100% right, girl. You are 100% right. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. I've got political stuff, but you know how I roll. And listen, we're still new friends here. We've just met each other in the last few months. I want to talk a little bit about some other stuff as well, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Black skater Shawnee Davis finished 19th in the 1,500-meter race after sparking a race row by boycotting the opening ceremony because he lost the dishonorable coin flip to a flag bearer. Now, this guy has a giant, massive chip on his shoulder, and he figured since the Olympics were being held in Black History Month in America that he should automatically get the coin toss and he should carry the flag. Which, I mean, it's a good thing. He's not kneeling and he's not sitting during the presentation of the flag. However, he was being a douche and he was being a crybaby little bitch and saying that the reason why he did not get to carry the flag was because he was a black guy. So, sorry, no. No, the girl who won the flag toss won the flag toss. There was nothing dishonorable about the flag toss. It was even. It's the way they do things. But this little crybaby, little spoiled, entitled guy with a racial chip on his shoulder decided that if he couldn't carry the flag, then he was going to sit out. Well, Shawnee Davis, probably your last time speed skating in the Olympics. You finished 19th. 19th. And you know what? Grow the hell up. Stop using color as an excuse in your life. All right. Oh, God, this is funny. So Mike Pence did not stand up when he didn't stand up during any of the other teams at the Olympics when they were introduced. He did not stand up for everybody. He did not stand up for Australia. He did not stand up for everybody. He just didn't. I don't know if there's a protocol involved with it, but anyway, Mike Pence did not. Whoopi Goldberg was very upset that Mike Pence did not stand and respect North Korea. North Korea did a joint flag presentation with South Korea. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why? What's two words that would describe why Donald I said it, damn it. Why North Korea and South Korea were together at the Olympics? Why were they? Why are we still not considering a North Korea a threat? Why are we still saying, oh my God, North Korea could fire a missile at Pyongyang? Why is it? Why are the Olympics happening not only without fear that North Korea will blow up the place, but that North and South Korea joined each other in a hockey game, and then the opening ceremonies. Why is it? Donald Trump. That's why. That's why. However, Whoopi Goldberg was very unhappy with Mike Pence not standing and respecting a regime that murders and tortures and murders and tortures and starves its citizenry. Hundreds and thousands of people die every year in North Korea, in and outside of prison, because of starvation, neglect. They have no ability to listen to outside information from other sources. It is all government propaganda. But here is Whoopi Goldberg saying Mike Pence should have understood that, and he should have respected it as well.
VP Mike Pence was in the stands at the Olympics, where he seemed to be making a silent protest by remaining seated when North and South Korean athletes entered the stadium under the Korean unification flag. Mm-hmm. Now, was this the place to make that statement? Or did he just forget to get up?
So they're comparing the North Korean, South Korean flag to the American flag and the national anthem. That's one thing that's pretty despicable.
That Mike Pence said that it was inappropriate to make political statements at sporting events.
Oh, yeah, there's this sycophantic crowd applauding, because they're very uninformed, you see.
Wasn't he that guy who walked out of the football game because people were kneeling and
he would say that's in his country, in their own country, is what he would say to that.
But he's representing the United States of America.
Yeah.
See, these people, they don't give a rat's ass if people are being starved to death in North Korea, because they don't have to deal with it. And I might notice that Whoopi looks like she's living pretty large here in the United States.
We have to be
I don't think there are any tapeworms in Whoopi Goldberg.
respectful.
I don't think she's missing any meals.
Because, what we do know about politicians is they end up sitting with people that you and I say, well, why are they sitting with them? So if you're in Korea, you need to stand up. You need to stand up and show respect.
No, you don't. You don't need to show respect to fucking... I'm sorry, I apologize. I normally never use that word. You don't need to pay attention. You don't need to show respect to North Korea. Okay? It would be like showing respect to Germany in 1939, the Jesse Owens Olympics. They would. Why? Why would you do that? Utterly ridiculous, and another excuse to politicize the Olympics by people like Whoopi Goldberg. Sorry for using the word. I normally never use the word. This just really ticks me off. It just really ticks me off. There is no respect due to North Korea. There was not one lick of respect due to North Korea. There's not one lick of respect due to Kim Jong-un's sister, who was celebrated by the American media at the opening ceremonies, even though she presides with her brother over a murderous regime. She's part and parcel with it. Don't act like she's not. I think her name is Sum Ho. I'm not sure. I can't remember her name. But anyway, there is no respect needed for North Korea. But Mike Pence did not stand for anyone else either. That's what I can gather. That's what I've heard. You may disagree. Write me. Tell me otherwise. Gary says, cuss all you like, my friend. Gary, I normally don't like using the word. I apologize. I'm a broadcaster, and I sincerely apologize. I try to keep it, pretty good. Robert? Watching in Colombia, South America? Shut up, Robert. Well, hello, man. Welcome to the show. Watching in Colombia, dude. Thank you. We got people listening all over the world. Colombia, South America, Robert. Really, really nice to have you. He says you like my reflections on what's happening. I hope so. I really do. And again, if you wouldn't mind sharing, please, and watching on Liberty One TV, that would be great. So now, Tucker Carlson had, and I'm going to get to some other stuff that's not political. I think you're going to enjoy here in a second. Tucker Carlson talked to a woman, Deirdre Griswold, who is a communist and a North Korean sympathizer. And she's an American. And the reason why she's an American and she's a communist sympathizer is because she's never had to live under a regime like this. Now, she visited North Korea, you say. This woman's voice, I just want to stab my ears out with knitting needles, and just not only just because of her ideology and her enormous ignorance of the cruelty of North Korea, but also just the sound of her wretched, awful voice. She sounds like she should be standing around a kettle with 3 other Wiccans throwing Eye of Newt and stuff into it. Just a wretched, awful woman. This is Deirdre Griswold basically defending North Korea, a regime that sentences generations of families to prison camps and tortures people and abuses them and starves them. And when they attempt to escape over the border, they find intestinal parasites that are 15 feet long, and they have TB, and they have all of these. Are you out of your gosh darn mind when you have to escape from a country and get shot at? Deirdre Griswold, you ignorant whatever. Are you effing out of your mind? This is the ignorance of socialist liberals. They don't have to live under it. They for some ungodly, stupid reason want and desire it, but not for them. They're fine with the little people of North Korea living with their scraps and starving to death, and they're willing to close their eyes to all of the abuses that are going on there. The highest incarceration in the world, the highest incarceration rate. Why are people incarcerated there? It's not because they're holding up convenience stores, because they don't have convenience stores. It's not because of drug dealing, because there's no drug dealing. You want to know what the number one thing for incarceration rate is? Speaking out against the regime and trying to escape. Here is Deirdre Griswold, the most profoundly ignorant person I've heard in a very long time, defending North Korea with Tucker Carlson.
I guess where I disagree with you is we don't know what the people of North Korea want because they're not allowed to say what they want.
Oh,
and I'm a little, well, really? So do they have internet access there? Oh, they don't? Okay. Do they?
They know
right,
what's going on in the world. They know perfectly well what's going on in the world.
How would they know? Because it's illegal to watch a foreign movie there. So how would they know?
She says the people of North Korea know perfectly well what's going on in the world. They have absolutely zero interaction with the outside world. They have no internet access, and everything they hear is government propaganda. Everything, whether it's on TV, whether it's on radio, or whether it is on statues in the public square, or making people have photos of the dear leader in their homes. This ignoramus. Deirdre, what's her name? Deirdre Griswold.
Making up a lot of stuff. The people in North Korea are very aware of what's going on in the world. North Korea has a 100% literacy rate. Did you know that?
I did. Yeah.
They have a 100% literacy rate because they're taught to read government propaganda verbatim, memorize it. You ignoramus.
I got that figure from the CIA fact book.
Listen to her voice. I just want to
it as well. But if you can't read anything but the propaganda,
they have universal medical care. They starve themselves, their people to death, and they have universal medical care. I'm sure it's great.
They are not in some kind of a, jail. They're not.
Yes, they are, actually. A lot of them are.
They are people who want to get out from underneath the threat of war.
Man. I mean, this is like this is like evil meets ignorance. This is evil meets ignorance. A little bit more from Deirdre Griswold defending North Korea.
If you look at the Koreans, they're the healthiest looking people in the world.
They're the best.
If you look at those.
The Koreans are the healthiest looking. The North Koreans are the healthiest looking people in the world.
Except for the tapeworms and the tuberculosis. They're awesome. You know what? You should get some dental work.
You are telling people lies about the world, and that's what your station does. And I'm not surprised by that.
It's not a station, actually. It's a network. It's Fox News. Deirdre, you ignorant POS, go effing live in North Korea. Defect to North Korea. I want you to go to North Korea. If I had the money, I would buy you the damned ticket. I'd even pay maybe your first month's rent, which wouldn't be much. It would be like a crust of bread or something. You just, Kyle says, don't give them airtime. I need to explain it, Kyle. I need to explain it. Robert lives in, moved here from Dayton, Ohio. You moved to Australia. No, you moved to Columbia from Dayton, Ohio. Columbia, South America. Wow. Robert says, by the way, watch any soccer match worldwide and everybody stands for the national anthem. They even play Colombia's anthem on the radio twice a day. Well, that's fine. It's not the United States. But you know what, dude, also, Robert, just real quick, they used to play the national anthem twice a day on broadcast television when they signed off and when they signed on. Elizabeth Warren, who claims to be of Native American blood, is conspicuously absent from the Tribal Nations Policy Summit this week. The American Indians Tribal Nations Policy Summit, taking place in D.C., features a whole host of politicians, high-profile speakers, including Nancy Pelosi. I don't think she's Native American. Secretary of the Interior Rod Zinke, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. She's missing from the guest list. Cherokee genealogists have traced Warren's family history and were unable to find any ancestors that identified as anything other than white, but that hasn't stopped Warren from doubling down on her claims, pointing to her family's high cheekbones and the fact that she included a recipe in a cookbook called Powwow Chow. Wow. Oh, now, okay, off of topic, off of politics. We've got a generation, we know this, of snowflakes, right? Kids who can't handle anything. Listen, I was bullied as a kid, I know, and there are some rules for bullying that should happen, but honestly, this has come from across the pond. In Great Britain, they've decided to, in some schools, get rid of best friends because it excludes other kids, because some kids might not be a best friend. In New York, they are considering doing the same thing, eliminating best friends at a school in New York. All right? Here is a story about getting rid of best friends because it might damage people who don't have best friends, apparently.
To have first started in Prince George's South London school. This push to break up best friends is catching on, says clinical psychologist Dr. Barbara Greenberg.
The idea of banning the phrase best friends is a very intriguing social experiment.
And while it may be raising some eyebrows...
No, it's not an intriguing social experiment. There's a reason why people choose best friends. There's nothing wrong. I had a best friend. His name was David Nissen. He was my best friend for a number of years in elementary school. When I got in high school, not my friend anymore. Yeah, kind of my friend, but not my best friend. Jim Langan was my best friend. When we got out of college, Chris Johnson, my best friend for many, many years. Many, many years. I don't think anybody felt excluded.
That's really disheartening. I mean, I wouldn't have been very happy in elementary school because that's all I had.
Greenberg, who works with children and adolescents, says there's some good rationale behind it.
No.
I see kids come in all week long who are feeling dreadful because they are excluded and because they are either nobody...
Who frickety who? Everybody has best friends. Everybody's got a best friend. Even if you're not a very popular kid in school, you're going to have a best friend. And because, David Nelson is not your best friend, get over it. To ban best friends? Are you out of your nuts?
Best friend or because their best friend has moved on.
The point, she says, to teach children to be inclusive at an early age rather than exclusive.
And that's what we encourage at camp.
Jay Jacobs, who...
Not everybody's going to like everybody. That's the thing. Hugo Rodriguez watching in Miami. Hello, my friend. John Cedar watching in Ohio. Great to have you. Oh, Gary liked my line about some hoe. I think that's the name of Kim Jong-un's sister, some hoe.
Timberlake Camp says this is the environment his counselors...
I swear that's her name.
...have been fostering for years.
I think that, there are pitfalls in just having one friend. Remember, as you grow up, interests change, children go in different directions.
Having a wider group of friends, he says, also sets children up for success.
You can't be on a soccer field and just be dealing with one child. You're going to be interacting with a team.
Let's face it, you can't ban somebody from having a close relationship, and you can't really ban somebody from having a best friend. But with the schools...
So why bring it up?
are trying to do is they're trying to foster the idea of kids having more than a single friend.
I don't want to be patronizing, but you guys are all my best friends. You are. So share on Facebook. Let's see here. All right. I got another story, and then I've got to run. Where is time gone? I got to turn things over. All right. Listen to this. Listen to this story, guys. You're going to love this. A time traveler who says he is from the future has passed a lie detector test after claiming Donald Trump will be elected and artificial intelligence will take over. Okay. YouTube video posted by Apex TV has this guy who says he's traveled back in time. That's fantastic. He's back from the future. He wasn't wearing an orange vest and driving a DeLorean. He says humans will reach Mars in 2028, and the same year time travel will be discovered. So you're thinking time travel? No, man, it's only like what? What is it? 10 years from now. 10 years from now. Here's a little audio from this guy taking a lie detector saying that he is a time traveler from 2030. It's hilarious.
Okay, Noah, let's just start off with the basics, and we'll see what the lie detector says. First off, are you an actual time traveler from the year 2030?
Right.
Okay. Again, we will be taking a look at the results of this lie detector after the video is over.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see what it says. Now we're just going to be taking a look at some of the more common questions that people ask you. So Noah, a lot of people ask us if you have any actual evidence that you are a time traveler.
Yeah, so I have no physical evidence besides the thing that's in my wrist and your predictions, but I'm not sure if I can give them. You told me or not.
Could have brought remember the sports book thing that Biff brought back from the future? She couldn't have brought that back with him? All right. I got to go, unfortunately. Guys, I greatly appreciate you watching, and thank you for joining me. If you would also watch on Liberty One TV, it would be greatly appreciated because we don't know how long these social media pages are going to support us conservatives. Real quick. Help me to continue to grow this and all of my brothers and sisters on this glorious Liberty One TV network, okay? In the meantime, if you want to follow me on Facebook, that is cool, at Rob Carson Show. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it is Rob Carson. In the meantime, God bless you, and I will see you again tomorrow night, same time, same place. I'm on twitch.com under Rob Carson Show, twitch.com, Rob Carson Show, coming up at the top of this hour. So join me there, follow me there. I appreciate it. God bless. See ya.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now. We'll see you soon.